Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our annual Friends Gathering for Mercy Works. It's so lovely to be with you all here tonight. A special welcome to our special guests, as well as our sisters, our board members. We have staff, we have school leaders, we have students, we have funders, we have donors, and we have guests from our projects around Australia and the Asia Pacific. My name's Jo Casamento, and I am the Communications Coordinator and Fundraising Coordinator at Mercy Works. And so I extend a very, very warm welcome to you all. Tonight is so special and important. Not only are we gathered here live in the Macaulay rooms here in Parramatta, but we're also able to be home with you in your homes and offices on Zoom. And it's the first time we've been able to gather in 2 years, and we just held a beautiful water ceremony. Thank you to the wonderful elders and some of the ladies at the Baabayn Aboriginal Corporation, which was wonderful, and we were lucky enough to experience if you were in the rooms here. Well, we meet on a virtual platform today. I'd like to start tonight's proceedings with a traditional acknowledgement to country by Aunty Jenny here from the Baabayn Aboriginal Corporation in Mount Druitt.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Jenny Ebsworth. I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this country, the Darug people, and pay my respect to their elders past and present. And I'm very thankful that I'm living and working on Darug land. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aunty Jenny. I've got Aunty Cass. Aunty Cass is here in the room. For those of you on the screen can see Aunty Cass's name, but thank you, Aunty Jenny. So why are we here today and tonight? We're here for so many reasons. We wanted you to hear from the people who are involved with our projects on the ground. We wanted you to see the projects we're working with at Mercy Works and see where the important donations that the many generous people out there donate and where it's going and what we do with that money. We are the Sisters of Mercy, and we work in Australia, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste and The Philippines. Tonight is about sharing these wonderful projects. A special message from our board chair, Jo Zabar.
Good evening and welcome to our annual Friends Gathering. I wanted to thank you all for joining us this evening. As we move forward from COVID restrictions, it's wonderful that we can come together both physically in our office in Parramatta and virtually from across Australia. The theme for this evening's gathering is each voice counts. But for many, their voices don't count. They're all too often sidelined because they're poor or they're different. Their calls for fairness and equality are often ignored. They are forced to live on the margins without access to nutrition, health and education services. Their children are preyed upon, exploited by the unscrupulous, treated like a commodity for sale. These are the people who live on the margins of our communities, ones which we see but don't hear. We have an opportunity to create a better path for those on the margins. Mercy Work projects offer hope and opportunity through the development, training, advocacy and education. Our projects see and hear those on the margin. Most importantly, our projects listen to the needs of those we partner with. Mercy Works is committed to supporting projects that improve the lives of our Indigenous sisters and brothers, our First Nations people, as well as our most recent arrivals, those who have sought asylum and refuge in Australia. Our commitment to the poor and vulnerable extends to our nearest neighbours in Papua New Guinea, our sisters and brothers in Timor-Leste and Philippines. In truth, we're on a journey together, wanting to make the world a better place, especially for the poor and the vulnerable. It's not an easy journey, and it will have setbacks and difficulties along the way. I take comfort in the words of Catherine McCauley, who said, "The simplest and most practical lesson I know is to resolve to be good today, but better tomorrow." Thank you.
Thank you, Jo. I'd now like to call on Sister Sally Bradley, our inspiring Executive Director here at Mercy Works, to say a few words.
Thank you, Jo, and thank you all for coming to this annual Friends Gathering, either in person
or we think about 160 people at least with us online. There's a great energy in the room as we've reconnected or met each other for the first time tonight. I'd like to share with you 3 short stories which for me capture why I believe in the mission of Mercy Works and why I enjoy this very challenging role. With our domestic program manager Claire, 2 weeks ago I was finally able to visit Adelaide again, where we support 3 projects with our First Nations people. We had the privilege of meeting in person Uncle Tim, Jessie and Claire from Kerriullo, and Aunty Pat, who coordinates 2 projects with Aboriginal women. I was deeply moved and challenged by these meetings and hearing their stories. Last week, Maria, who's our program manager for overseas, who's here with us this evening, returned from visiting our projects in the Philippines with trafficked women. We have 2 projects. The stories she began to share with me last week on her return were both challenging and inspiring. And just last Friday evening, I had the joy of welcoming Sister Maryanne Kolkia and Stephen Duday from Papua New Guinea to be with us to Sydney. They're going to be with us for 2 weeks, working with our staff. It was 3 years since we'd seen each other, so it has been lovely to be with them. And to listen to their stories with our staff team this week has also been challenging and inspiring. So let us all remember the words of Catherine McCauley, the founder of the Sisters of Mercy, who says to each of us, "Speak as your mind directs and always act with courage." So each of these stories highlights our theme, each voice counts. Tonight you have the opportunity to also be inspired by the many voices who share their story. Let's hear from some of them now. Thank you.
A group funded by Mercy Works under the project Creating Change for Women through Advocacy. And we want to say, salamat sa inyong suporta!
This project is about strengthening the voice of women who are survivors and to raise the level of society's response to human trafficking, so all women and children can live a peaceful life in a secure environment. And Mercy Works is helping us to make it happen.
Welcome to the Kolkia Girls Academy.
We're here in Eurocanty country where Academy is built.
We love landing here where the rainforest meets the reef.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and this is my daughter Thea. We are from Pommerbrook. The Kolkia Girl Academy means I can continue my education and have Thea with me every day. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Mandy Ross and I'm the principal here at Kolkia Girl Academy at Wangari Beach. Kolkia Girl Academy is a place where Indigenous teenage girls can live and learn together with their babies. We believe if you educate a young girl's mind, body and spirit, you can change her world.
Good day, Amamas from Cebu, Long Island, Papua New Guinea. Mercy Works is not alone. We can't do what we do without you, Mercy Works. Remember, we are all in this together.
Hi everyone, my name is Pat Warrior Reid. I'm a Nudgery woman from the mid-north of South Australia.
thank you for your help which you have given to these little children in the district of Sobalima, Mokata. We thank you so much for your help in giving the children with eggs and helping the families with chicken and product of eggs. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Khadija. My name is Khadija. She's a very nice teacher. His name is Kelly. She's very lovely teacher.
Thank you.
And
what are you
teacher.
learning? Where are you learning?
I come to Dandelion Library. I learn English. Connect the message.
Yes. So I'm Kerry. I'm Kadisha's teacher at the moment, and I've been with Mercy Connect mainly from the beginning when they first started language at Dandenong Library, and I love working with the adults as part of the Mercy Connect program. And and at the moment we're working on Kadisha wants to get her Australian citizenship, so we're doing this at the moment. But I try and work with whatever the student wants. And I think it's a very valuable program, and hopefully Kadisha is benefiting from it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Muhammad. We come to the Dandenong Library. It's a English learning. It's a Mercy Connect. It's my teacher, Kerry.
That was a very good job, Mohammed. My name is Gary. I come to the Dandenong Library as part of the Mercy Connect program to teach Mohammed and Kudabash English.
Hi, my name is Kudabash. I came to the library learn English. My teacher Gary. Thank you.
Hi, greetings from Nunga Babies in Western Province of Papua New Guinea. We are glad you are joining us. Thank you, Mercy Works.
Yama.
Hi, I'm Elaine Gordon. I'm a Barkinji woman. Today I am on Darrick country.
Hi, I'm Jenny Ebsworth. I'm a Nunga woman living and working on Darrick land.
Hi, I'm Janaya. I am a proud Wiradjuri woman in the 3rd generation.
All one belong Mercy Works. Mika belong Yuara, place where I am staff long way long Yunga town. Mika like long talk, thank you long one and Mercy Works in making long Mipla. Hi, bye.
Good morning, Ninamani, Pundi, and welcome here today. My name is Tim Aegis. I am the CEO at Kurielo. Kurielo means country by the sea. We are here at Port Adelaide, and we are on Kaurna country in South Australia, and we would really like to thank and express our appreciation to Mercy Works for the great support they give not only to Kurielo, but the support that we can also provide to the community. Thank you very much.
Good day! Welcome to Baabayn Center.
Salamat sa pag-abot ng bisita.
Greetings from Baabayn Center in Cebu City, Philippines. Malipayan kami siyang pag-abot. Thank you, Mercy.
And I also would like to acknowledge the elders who have worked so hard in the past, our elders of today and our emerging elders, and united we can achieve so much more.
We're all in this together.
You can just see how wide and varied and vast we are across the globe in the Asia Pacific and around Australia, and our many gorgeous projects and the gorgeous people involved in them. We thank them for helping us make that video, and thank you, Luke, as well. For 16 years, Mercy Works has aimed to empower challenged communities and improve lives in Papua New Guinea. Our PNG staff work tirelessly. Tonight, we are especially excited and thankful to our two project coordinators from Papua New Guinea. They're here with us in person to speak with you all. Their trip here was fraught. We were a little bit worried at one point with visa applications, etc. Thanks to our finance guy, Martin, who managed to make that happen. So we are incredibly grateful and thrilled they have arrived safely. This year, they've overcome COVID, tumultuous elections, earthquakes, and the effects of climate change. Sister Maryanne is known to many of you. She is the lifeblood of our work in Papua New Guinea. She's loving, caring, and dedicated, and her passionate work truly embodies mercy in action. Stephen Duday is a West Papuan refugee. He's been working in Kiunga for 10 years with us. I call him the James Bond of Kiunga or PNG because he's always hanging out of a helicopter on the river in a boat or climbing some rugged mountain terrain. A very big welcome to Sister Maryanne Kolkia and Stephen Duday. Simbu is a rugged mountainous area in the Central Highlands of Papua New Guinea, where access to basic services such as education and health remains limited, especially in those remoter areas. Domestic violence and sexual abuse against women and children is all too common. In Simbu, we have several different initiatives under the management of our amazing coordinator, Sister Maryanne. Hello and welcome, Sister Maryanne.
Hello, and thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, there are many challenges in Simbu just for day-to-day survival. We see them, you live with it, Sister Maryanne. When you're talking about people just trying to get access to basic things like food and a roof over their head, how do you not feel overwhelmed, and how do you know where to focus your energies to achieve the best outcomes for the many issues in Simbu?
Papua New Guinea as a nation is gifted with the government and the people. We have education system in place. As the government of the nation also create business opportunities for its citizens. Mercy Works Simbu believes that every individual has the potential to excel that further. With the opportunities given and as a nation trying to meet its citizens' needs, Mercy Works believes in economic empowerment for Simbu for this time. And we are looking at the potential with the people, knowing that they will make a change. And
we've actually been talking a little bit about some of the amazing stories with your microfinancing initiative. You're quite the businesswoman, Maryanne. She's going to have her own bank one day. In fact, she does have one. Tell us a little bit about the business opportunities that you're creating in Simbu there.
That's right. With the economic empowerment, thinking big, but starting small. That's the concept. And with the microfinancing, we are looking at ways in which people can mobilize and mobilize financially and work together to achieve bigger dreams and better life.
There was that one story that it has stuck with me about the lady who has HIV and came to you for the 30 Kina project, was it initially, and then has managed to, well, you tell the story, it's your story.
That's right, my story, correct. With the financial mobilization, with the concept of thinking big but starting small, we come with an activity, and we call it Messy Works, Leave No One Behind. Savings and Loan Society. It's a crazy idea, sounds really big, but we said we are going to start with what we have. And in that activity, Messy Works as the startup capital as 30 Kina and given to individuals who wish to help themselves. And from that 30 Kina, they are given 2 weeks to work. And one of the many people that we work with is one of the ladies who is living with HIV/AIDS almost 20 years. And she is in late 60s, being part of that activity. And she, after 3 weeks, 3 months, she raised 1,350 Kina. That was a success.
And it's not just the adults. She's also been talking. In fact, I'm going to have to get over there with a marketer because she's talking about mercy mushrooms, and the kids are growing mushrooms and selling them now. So it's big business in Cebu. Sister Maryanne, you're also a bit of a radio star there. We recently sent you some radio equipment after the radio station burnt down, but it's a serious matter because communication is so important in Papua New Guinea. Can you tell us why?
It is important because information is power. People need information to make informed decisions for their own well-being. So with the radio program, it's very effective because this is one of the effective mode of communication out in the villages. And so with the radio program, because we share basic information, and the people requested if we could increase the number of radio programs, of which we have done that. Information said on the radio, we focus on United Nations 17 development goals within 2050 for PNG. There are other women issues, human rights issues, as well as COVID-19, and also with health issues. We do say on the radio, as well as inviting other expertise to come on radio with us to also say information for the people, yeah.
It's really incredible work and it's life-saving work, and we are so grateful that you can do that, Sister Maryanne. I wanted to know if you could share with our audience and our funders and supporters and donors, how important are the donations and funding you receive from Mercy Works?
On behalf of the people, I would like to take this time to thank you all for your generosity and support given to the people of Cebu and Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Thank you, Maryanne. Mercy Works has been serving the community through sustainable development in Kiunga and Nuwara for 10 years. The man at the helm is Stephen Duday. It is a remote and disadvantaged rural population, and it lacks basic services like clean water and food. It's very, very rural and very, very remote. As I said, Stephen's often hanging out of a helicopter or a boat or trekking through, mountains for days on end to do his work. Could we welcome Stephen Duday? As I was saying, it is a very remote region, and the work Stephen does is across a number of villages I wondered, could you tell us just how long it takes to get anywhere, Stephen, and how you actually go about conducting your work, and just give us a picture of the geographic location we're talking about.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for your generosity and your support, which enable us that we manage to help our unfortunate and vulnerable community. Kiunga Western Province, it has a story of its own, meaning that when we want to reach out to the community, we have to have plan A, plan B, and plan C. And also the weather pattern, it's unpredictable. So for example, if you want to go up to the mountainous areas of Western Province, we experience rain every day and cloudy. And to get in there, we have to communicate with our people up in the mountain to ensure that the weather is fine. That will allow a small plane to go in, or a chopper. If we want to follow the Flariwa downstream, then we have to ensure that if the people are settled, and also the weather, it's okay. So that's why we used to use 3 modes of transport at the same time. We can use dinghy, 40 horsepower, or either we can use a vehicle to get in there, or by air.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. We sometimes ask Stephen to do things, and until you grasp the concept of why things can take days or weeks to actually maneuver, it's only when you hear the stories of, you were telling us earlier or yesterday about the remote hostel for girls, the La Sagis hostel that Mercy Works supports in Kiunga, and how far that is from the remote villages. And you were saying it took how long for the girls to walk to school?
Well, it is quite challenge. Girls, they used to walk like at Yawara, they walk 2 days, depend on the weather. If it is wet, they walk 2 days, which is just 45 kilometers. But because of the weather pattern, they can walk for 2 days. They walk 12 hours on the road, and they have to wait for a dinghy to get in and then travel again. So that's why it used to take that hours. But actually it is 45 kilometers only. And our people further up in the mountain, they can sometimes walk 6 days just one way to Kiunga. That's why with this hostel program, we see that it's important, because we want to empower our women that they can also participate equally, which is emphasized also in the 17 UN Development Goals to empower equal participations.
Stephen, Mercy Works has been operating in Kiunga now for 10 years. Tell us about some of the progress you've made there and some of the special highlights that you are exceptionally proud of.
For the last 10 years, we have seen a significant positive change that have happened in the past. Especially looking at our Melanesian context, men used to dominate the decision making and taking some leadership role in a society. And in the past 2 decades, we have seen that some women are also taking the leadership role, being as a headmistress in the primary school or being as a principal. And also they are taking the leadership role also in some other public sector and government sector as well. So that is a general outlook that we are looking at it.
It is incredible work. And I know one particular initiative you are very proud of. It was your idea, I think, and we can see you with it there, is the Cocoa Cash Crop Initiative. It's very special to you. Tell us, what's the idea behind it and what do you hope it will do for the community in the Uwara region there?
The idea, actually, it started when we did community action participations in 2019, before COVID-19. when we did this exercise, people realized that they don't have a mode of source of income, and also they don't have a cash crop that can sustain the living that is affecting their life. So they see that, well, when we're talking about the health or education, people can be educated, but if their living standard or their economical life is being affected, they cannot sustain. So people took the initiative and they realized that, well, we have to have some kind of cash crop to sustain our living. That's why they initiated the cocoa. Cocoa, actually, it's not new to the country, to Papua New Guinea. It has been there when the first missionaries came into the country. And before independence, the government, the people recognized that cocoa can be one of the cash crop in the country. So when independence, the government also realized and recognized cocoa as one of the cash crop. And there is a demand also at the national level and at the international market. The PNG, we have organic cocoa that is grown in the country, and there is a demand at the international market, which is PNG is contributing 2% only, and the international, the global market is asking if PNG can contribute 10% towards this cocoa demand in the world market. And that's where we see there is a gap that we can help our community. So when the community initiate the cocoa project, Messiwek support our community with a plastic and the shade cloth only. People took the initiative to get a cocoa pot and break it, and they build their own nursery.
It's incredible. It's building a new economy there, isn't it?
So we are targeting that by 2024, we can have 800 to 1,000 cocoa farmers with at least one farmer can have 2 or 3 hectares of cocoa.
And how long will that take him to walk back to Kiunga to the markets? How will he get his crop or she get their crop back?
Like I've said earlier, it is 45 kilometers only, but.
So we need to raise money for a car, everybody, basically. We need a big truck for the village. There is a Tok Pisin word for mercy, and I love this one. It's called Mary Mary. But you often talk, Stephen, and I want you to tell our audience, how do people react when they see the Mercy Works truck and the No Mercy Works is coming to help them in their village?
The name Mari Mari, it's in Tok Pisin. Tok Pisin is one of our second language in the country. Tok Pisin, Mari Mari means mercy in English. So the word Mari Mari, when we had a meeting with the community, actually it was after the COVID came into the country, and we had the emergency relief with Messiwek support. And I was touched. I got a quote from when I came into office, and I saw a quote with Catherine Macaulay said, the needy need help today, not tomorrow or next week. And the name Mercy Works, like it's reflect to me personally, because when we went in, when there was a COVID lockdown, our people, the democratic rights were being deprived. And Western Province, we said the 2 international border. We have Indonesia on the west and Australia down south. And it was one of the hotspots that was that the government was really focused on, or it was on the target. So when there was a relief, emergency relief that we roll out that time, and we went in to support our new arrival West Papuan refugee that came across in 2019, and other assistance for our community up at Yowara and up in the mountain. That's where the name Mari Mari came in, to acknowledge, and also it's also part of exit strategy for our village health volunteer program and other programs that we are supporting.
Stephen, did you say you shared a Coke with Catherine Macaulay? Is that what I heard you say in the middle of that? And asked her for help? I thought I heard you say you sat down with Catherine Macaulay. Yes, yes, and asked her, and she just hopefully delivers. Stephen could talk all day and he has some amazing stories, and Sister Maryanne's stories of change are quite incredible. So I encourage you to stay around after the webinar, and they're here and ready to chat and ready to answer any questions live in the room as well. Thank you, Stephen and Maryanne. Thank you. In Cebu City in the Philippines, 10,000 women work as prostitutes. Half of those are aged between 10 and 17 years old. It's here our Creating Change for Women Through Advocacy project is giving the survivors of human trafficking a voice. Here we work in partnership with the Villa Maria Good Shepherd Sisters, and the focus is on mentoring recovered trafficked women to become strong advocates for change, not only for themselves, but also for other women. The aim of this project is to raise society's response to human trafficking, and integral to this project is the safeguarding of the women and children involved. It's about healing, education, and finding ways to strengthen those voices. I was fortunate enough to chat with a survivor of human trafficking who's now working and advocating in this project in Cebu earlier this week. It's my pleasure to introduce Sherilyn.
Good evening, Sherilyn. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot of the research, Sherilyn, in the first year of this project has been about the drivers of human trafficking and what leads someone to be in this situation in the first place. I wondered if you were comfortable enough to share with us today about your personal story and what led you to be in this situation.
It's okay. I can talk about it.
So how old were you when and what happened? What is your story, if you are okay sharing?
Okay, I lived in a place where drugs is normal. I can see a lot of prostituted women because I was still a teenager at that time, and before that happened, I was aware already that it is not good, or it's gonna destroy my life. But at that moment, I was really troubled because I was 15 years old when my father died. He was shot in front of our home, and I was also I was raped by my cousin, and it was it was something that I want to hide all my life, but I cannot hide it.
And so that forced you and led you to the red light area there.
Yeah.
I wonder, when you're in that situation, do you feel trapped? Or is there a sense of, I can get out of this? Or is it a feeling of complete hopelessness and despair?
First reason that we cannot really escape from the prostitution is because we have debt to pay.
Debt, yes. A lot of money that you owe someone. Yes, okay.
We owe money from our managers that we cannot say, I want to leave, or I want to stop working, because every day I think a lot of money that we owe, but thinking about it or realizing we really didn't owe any penny from them. Poverty and the traumas that I've been through inside the house.
Yes.
So that I don't want to go home. Yeah. Every space of the house reminds me of the traumas that I've been through. I just stick onto that situation because I don't have money. I don't have money, and I don't want to go back home.
Just a little bit about how you came to be involved with the Creating Change for Women Through Advocacy project in the Philippines.
I've been with a Good Shepherd since when I was 17 years old. I was working on the red lights. Usually, the Good Shepherd and Brother Paul, which is also a partner with the Good Shepherd, they do their outreach. So we've known them because they go to our place every night. So talk with us. They give us some inspirational talks. It was not just one night, but almost every night they go to our place. So it was just the start of me knowing the Good Shepherd. So I've decided to change and came into the Welcome House and start my recovery. It was a long process also because there was healing, and there were many things that came in my life after that. I've been in the Good Shepherd, so they've tried to offer me educational help. We have this healing program. We call it Core Energy, that we go deep within the traumas and recognize those traumas, and then we take the chance to heal, to accept those traumas. And it is not just the time, but the emotional damage that those traumas caused us. And even now that I am healed, but there are still the scars of those traumas, and we cannot hide it. And what gives me strength is these traumas that I can see also on the other girls, and seeing them change also is healing me. So that's why I really want to continue, and I really want to touch the lives of others through my experiences.
Sherilyn, that is very beautiful. The main dream of this project is to raise society's response to human trafficking. What would you say to people in Australia or around the world who have no real concept of human trafficking? What would you say is the most important thing for us all to know?
Like, educate them that they need to have more knowledge about their human rights, because usually violence or this, trafficking is done when a person has no knowledge.
So Sherilyn, you're now working with the Creating Change project in Cebu there, volunteering, I think, a few days a week and helping other women who are survivors themselves. Tell me a little bit about the project and what work you are doing there.
I usually go to the Good Shepherd Welcome House. I stay with the girls, and last Saturday we have the livelihood orientation. So I go together with the girls, spend time with them. I'm also a part of the committee of advocacy, so giving them orientations also about human trafficking, HIV 101. I just the presence of being there, that they can see that somebody already survived from this situation, that already have changed their life, is the only thing I can give to them. It's like being an inspiration to them is what I can do for now.
And you are an inspiration, Sherilyn, you really are. So the theme for today is Each Voice Counts, and you talking about how someone else had a voice for you when you were voiceless is really profound. And I think for our donors and people involved with Mercy Works who are supporting this project, how important is our voice to speak up for those women who are still voiceless?
When I was voiceless, somebody also did something for me, or she was also a voice for me when I was voiceless. So right now that I have my own voice to say that I have survived, and seeing those also that who are voiceless now, that I can share to them that before I was like you, I was in that situation, but right now I am proud that I have my own voice to say that I have survived. As a person who was in the dark before, we really need an inspiration to see that I can be the same as her. I can also do the same as her. and I can also survive like her. We can say, and I can say that because of you, I have survived. Because of you, I was helped, and now I am able to help others.
Sherilyn, there's no doubt your story has touched the heart of everyone here at Mercy Works. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for having your voice and sharing your story with us here tonight.
I just want to take this opportunity to really to say that I am very thankful because the program continued, and the program will continue, and there will be many voiceless women and children who will be helped, and there will be many women who will be now standing and will say that I have a voice and I have survived everything. May God bless you 1,000-fold.
Thank you, Sherilyn. Thank you. Your smile is beautiful, by the way. You have the biggest smile. It's beautiful.
Have the biggest smile, and her story is quite incredible. And our project manager, our international project manager, Maria, is at the back of the room. I'm going to call her down at the end of the evening to take questions if you have any about that particular project, because she's just got back from there. Now, one of our largest programs is our Mercy Connect program, and it operates almost nationwide. We're in Sydney, Perth, Melbourne, and Ballarat. We currently serve 95 schools with 170 volunteer mentors supporting almost 1,000 refugee and asylum seeker students and adults in our schools. And that's getting back after COVID, and that was a big, arduous task for our project managers at Mercy Connect. Paul's in the room, you can speak to him later. Catherine Gregory is the Community Liaison Officer at Hilltop Road Public School, where Mercy Connect has 4 volunteers for 25 students in the primary school. She's here with us at the Friends Gathering to talk about the adult literacy classes, which are held at the Hilltop Road community rooms on Thursdays. We're also thrilled to welcome at the end there Marilyn Lucas-Smith, a volunteer of 5 years with Mercy Connect. She works there, and she's also worked at Sacred Heart Mount Druitt Primary School. And we are incredibly honoured tonight to have 2 of our adult Mercy Connect literacy learners, Arazu on the right, and in the fabulous red and sequins here, we have Salima, a mother of 3 gorgeous girls, and they're both from Afghanistan who attend the classes. No, I got that wrong. You can tell us in a minute, Salima, but please welcome Catherine, Marilyn, Salima, and Arazu. Firstly, I wanted to start with you, Catherine. Can you tell us, why is adult literacy classes? Because we are working with the children who are in the classrooms, and our mentors help with their learning within the school day. But why are the adult literacy classes so important?
Good evening, everybody. They're so important because our mums want the best for their children, and we want the best for our mums. So many of our families will come and they want to be able to support their children at school, but they might not have the language behind it to be able to support them and to understand what's happening in the school environment. So it's it's a no-brainer really to be able to start empowering our parents to be able to support their children in their classroom.
Yeah, it must be a real ripple effect, I imagine, from the children from coming down.
Yeah, it is, and it also goes back the other way. You see, when the mums will tell you anyway, but when the children see their parents at school and they're engaged and they're part of the school community, they become really proud, and they always pop down and say, "Is Mum here today? Is she learning today?" So it almost has that double effect. Yeah, like one of boomerang effect.
Salima, I can see you smiling. I might get Catherine to hand the microphone over. Are the kids especially proud when they see you taking these classes?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Sorry.
You're doing very well, and please don't feel nervous. So I asked maybe if you could tell us if the children seeing you in class is very exciting for them.
Yes. Sorry.
And tell us, how long have you been learning at the centre? How long have you been taking classes?
1 years, but I start in Miss Catherine. She's very good teacher.
This Catherine? Miss Catherine, yes.
Sorry. And before, because I come in Australia, like, you know, like I'm mom for kids, like start first 6 months stopping. After that, I take care for kids, and after that, my daughter, she start in school, and I find that Miss Catherine's program for the English class. So about that, I am very happy because, you know, like I talk to my daughter in school and coming back, just the routine, cleaning, everything. But I found that the class, I am very happy for that. And learning like maybe 1 year and a half, 1 year. And Corona is coming, stopping. And after that, I'm going, like, I feeling good because before, like, not talking good, and now I try to talking, but sorry, because I'm just
You sound
shy
beautiful,
first time.
and you sound beautiful, and you're clear as a bell.
Yeah, so
You're doing a wonderful job, and we can see, and it touches my heart to see what how it must be helping being a mother in Australia and those.
yes, it's helping me about that.
And even being
Very
able to tell them
good.
off.
Yes,
Must
so
be nice.
and now I start in Navitas. So because before I'm not talking, I'm not everything, but I'm worrying about communities, some idea, and now I'm doing well, like level 1, because I have 7 months before about kids, 7 years about kids, not doing any job, but now I am very happy because
Yeah, time
Yes.
for you.
Sorry.
Well, that makes us very happy. And you do look beautiful, incredibly beautiful in that red.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry, everyone, because first time too scary.
You're well done. Arizu, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I might ask you, Salima, if I got that right. I've got the Salima and Arizu.
Yes.
I might ask Arizu a question. I hear you've been doing a few courses since studying the English classes. Did I hear that correctly? You're learning to be a barista. And then I heard something about a florist as well. You seem to be really aiming for lots of things. How important are the classes in helping you adapt to life in Australia?
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy I'm here, and I want to share some experience with you because I like the coffee.
You like the coffee? We all like the coffee, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I like the coffee, but I like the florist too. Then the beginning, I must start the English. I don't know anything, but now a little bit I'm comfortable.
Do you like a latte or a macchiato? Or?
Cappuccino. I like the cappuccino.
Nice.
Yes.
So the classes are obviously very important and have
Yeah.
helped you. Without them, I mean, how important are they to when you're in a new country and you have children in school, but you're struggling yourself with the language? How vital is it to learn English and have a service like this?
When I came here, like the other people, I'm culture shock.
Culture shock, yes.
I'm. What do you do? I'm what do you do? I like to English class. I want to English class, but I can't to enroll. I was but I was so busy when I remember when my daughter, she's started kindergarten, is very difficult for me because I'm not understand English, and to support to my daughter. Now little bit is good, and especially when my kids is sick. When they are sick, I can't go to the doctor.
Oh, when they're sick,
yeah,
you can't explain to the doctor.
To the doctor, yeah, I can't. But now is little bit, I'm good.
Yes, and that's so wonderful, and we really applaud.
Thank
you know,
you.
it must be incredibly difficult. We can't.
Yeah.
We can only imagine. Well done, you two ladies, Salima and Arazu.
Thank you so much.
We, thrilled you could come tonight. I know it wasn't easy. I know you have children, and it's very difficult. And we just thank you for being here. We know it was a lot of trouble.
Thank you.
Maryanne, over on the end there, you've been with Mercy Connect as a volunteer mentor for a number of years now. Can you just tell us a little bit about your experience as a volunteer? And you can go onto our website and sign up if you want to train to be a volunteer with us. And just tell us a little bit about what your mentoring journey with Mercy Connect has meant to you.
Well, I'm a retired teacher, and any teacher in the room will tell you that teachers are caring people. When I retired, I felt my retirement had very little meaning. So I was looking for something to do that would give a little bit of purpose to my life then. And this has certainly filled that for me. My journey started, do you want me to explain that? My journey started with somebody asking me, well, you want to go in to help children, refugee children in school, would you rather a high school or a primary school? So I said, well, I'm a high school teacher, so I understand that. But I'm also a grandmother, and I have 10 grandchildren, so it didn't matter. So they put me in kindergarten.
That's punishment, isn't it?
Now, that was a culture shock. No, it was great. I went to Sacred Heart at Mount Druitt. There were 7 refugee children in one class, all finding it very difficult, coming into the school with very little, if any, English. And I followed those children through to year 2 when I was asked instead, as well, for a little while, I did both, to do that sort of mentoring and also to join Catherine and her crowd at Hilltop Road with the adult education. I did them both for a while and then said farewell to the little darlings at Mount Druitt, which was sad, very sad, but took on Hilltop Road instead.
And why do you think, Maryanne, it's such an important thing to have in the classroom, having worked with some of these kids and adults? But you were telling me about one particular story that really made me spring a little tear.
You and my little friend, yes. When I started at Sacred Heart, there was one little girl in particular, and I know you shouldn't have favourites, but we all do. Very sweet little girl, born in a refugee camp with mum had no assistance from midwife or doctor. And this poor little girl was born with one palsied arm. So she was only had the use of one arm. So not only did she come in with a language disability, but a physical one as well. Very, very sweet little girl. Very willing to be helped, which was nice. And I think what you're coming to is one day she said to me, Mrs. Lucas Smith, can you be my grandma? And I said, well, you have a grandma. And she said, yes, but she lives in Iraq. So I said, well, I'll be your grandma at school. I'll be your grandma while I'm here at school. Is that okay? Oh, yes, she said. I'd like that. So that's something that it gave to me. When I did leave, when I left that particular school, I felt bad that I was leaving. And the kids all said, no, we don't want you to go. We like it when you come. The beautiful year two teacher who had been giving the kids a talk fairly recently on people on missions, stepped in, stopped me from bursting into tears as well, and said, Mrs. Lucas-Smith was sent here on a mission to help you when you didn't know very much, when you were in kindergarten. You're now pretty grown up, you're in year two. So she's now being sent to another mission to help someone else.
Oh,
and
we like it.
that woman, I love her.
The rescue mission, we love it. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
My pleasure.
Marilyn, Salima, Arazu and Catherine. And can I just say our Mercy Connect program couldn't operate without the generous support of many of our funders and donors. And I know the Dooleys Lidcombe team are here tonight and some of the other funders and donors for that program. But can we put our hands together for these gorgeous, beautiful adult literacy learners? And thank you so much again for being here. Oh, look, kids are clapping. You can stay seated for a minute. We're almost done. Our Adelaide First Nations project is known as Nunga Babies Watch, and it has called upon the South Australian government to take immediate action to end what they call is another stolen generation from happening. A statement that they created was presented to Parliament by our Aunty Pat, who is a former prison chaplain of many, many years. She also heads up our Salt and Pepper program, as well as Nunga Babies Watch. Our Indigenous project manager, Claire Bennett, and Sister Sally visited Aunty Pat in Adelaide last week to find out what steps Mercy Connect can take next.
So, Aunty Pat, last year, you petitioned South Australian Parliament with a statement on the taking of Aboriginal children to stop what you call the second stolen generation. Yes. From occurring from all our lives. Yeah. What's been the response to
that? Actually, absolutely nothing. We've got no response from the government or the people who were sitting around the table at the time. We never had an email or a phone call, nothing at all. And I tell you, I felt like it was a waste of time. I really, truly felt that way.
So, Aunty Pat, what are you asking for?
Well, I'm asking for the help and support of the government to change and remove the processes that are happening in child protection, because they're detrimental to our growth as Aboriginal people, our culture, our identity, and our cultural links to each other. Child protection is a destroyer of our families, and I want to work and fight for those people to have a voice in the government to demolish child protection. That's the way it has to be. That's the way it has to be. Well, I guess similar to what New South Wales government has established this Aboriginal organisation that helps the families, Aboriginal families, when they're having problems. So for us in South Australia, we should actually look at building a full Aboriginal advisory board that oversees the operations of that similar process of looking at the well-being and that for our children and our families, and look more at the preventative side, more at preventing it, the families heading down a track which is not the right way. So to replace it with somebody with an idea about how the community functions, the cultural practices and protocols that we have in it, and to have Aboriginal people managing and being the workers, movers and shakers in that company. So that's what we need. And we, Child Protection could say, well, we have an Aboriginal, we've got a advisory council. That's true, they have, but it's all white people. Not very many Aboriginal people sit on that board. It's with none of their practices they don't abide by, because if they did, we wouldn't have the problems that we have today. So I would see the replacement of that department the best move that South Australian government can ever have. And I'm saying that from an Aboriginal perspective, because it's our families, our children, our community that is heading in a way that's despicable for the way in which they are suffering and in trauma for the loss of their children. And we, the Aboriginal community, have to stand up against the government when we want to make sure that our children are looked after and cared for culturally with a proper way in which we look after our children. So that's what I want to replace child protection. We, the Aboriginal community, has to be involved, and not to be employed by them, but actually run the organisation. That's what I want. Thank you for talking to me.
The incredible Aunty Pat there. Now we're going to have to say goodbye to our webinar followers at home. We have run slightly over. We did try, but there's so much information and so many amazing people to talk to. It has been hard. Those in the room, you're lucky enough to be able to stay back and ask questions from any of our projects. We also have our Baabayn group here as well, Janea, our empowered educator. And for those of you at home, you can go online, mercyworks.org.au for any information, any updates. Email us, Facebook us, Instagram us, DM me. So I wanted to do a special thank you to all of the people in the room, the students, the staff, the donors, the funders, the project managers, our own Mercy Works team at the back, Martin, Katrina, Maria, Paul, and the amazing, incredible Sandra, as well as our audio-visual dynamic team, which I could not have got you live on air without, Dan Fernando and the incredible John Rochester for coming along from the Institute. So thank you all very much for participating in today's Friends. I hope we've given you a little taste of some of the work we do. It's only a small portion, and there's so much more work to be done. And I did want to say at this point that we do rely solely on donations. We have no government support. We are entirely funded by your generosity. So to continue with the incredible work in Papua New Guinea, in Timor-Leste, where we saw Sister Gilbert with the Chicken and Egg Project, which is saving babies' lives, with our 5 Indigenous projects here in Australia, with our Mercy Connect refugees and adult literacy learners, and with our wonderful projects in the Philippines, and we only introduced you to one of them tonight. We have some incredible work going on around the world, and you can now go to the QR code on the screen and screen grab it with your phone. If you are watching from your phone, you can take a screenshot and do it later. But we urge you to be generous if you have liked some of the work we're doing and wanted to support that further. Without your help, these projects just wouldn't survive. We are staying around for more questions. We're going to leave the Zoom going, but bye to all of you at home. And for those in the room, please stay on. If you do want to leave and you have, you know, children and what have you, dinner to get home to, you're welcome to attend. We're not going to hold you here as prisoners, but our guests have flown from Papua New Guinea, have travelled here as well from the Baabayn Project, and we have these wonderful Mercy Connect volunteers, and we have all our staff here if you do have any questions about our projects. Thank you and good night.